Hello, and welcome to the QuoteRUSH Site Manager tutorial video. In today's video, we're going to be teaching you how to add carrier logins for all of your QuoteRUSH users. Now, keep in mind, you will need to be an admin on the account in order to make these changes inside of QuoteRUSH Desktop, and if you're not, go ahead and reach out to support and we'll give you the information that you need. Otherwise, you'll want to head up here to QuoteRUSH Admin, Site Manager. Once you've opened the QuoteRUSH Site Manager, you're going to see three main columns that list all of your carrier logins. The carrier column tells you the name of the carrier. The custom name is set by the user creating the login and can be used to track whatever you'd like. And then the access type will track the type of login that it is. You can have an individual login for one user only, a group login for multiple users, or an all users login, which will account for all users in the system. Once you're ready to begin adding or editing your carrier site logins, you're going to need to log in as an admin. You'll notice at the top, there's an option right here to click to log in as admin. If you don't know your password, you're going to need to navigate over to QuoteRUSH Web and find it there. After navigating over to QuoteRUSH Web and logging in, you'll locate the agency settings on the left-hand side, and then you'll find your admin password right here on the left. Make sure you click the I to reveal it, or if you'd like to change it, click the pencil. Now that we know our admin password, go on back over to the Site Manager and click right here so that you can log in. Notice how the text turns red, indicating that your login was successful. Want to remove some of the entries below and review only one specific user's logins? Go ahead and pick them from this box right here. Otherwise, leave this area blank. When you're ready to either add or edit a login, you'll select from the options below. Once ready to add a new carrier, go ahead and click Add New Entry, and you'll be taken to this area right here, where we clearly outline the main steps to add a new carrier. Our first step is going to be to select the carrier that we'd like to add from this list right here. Just click the drop-down and select the carrier you want. In our example, we're going to use Security First. The second step is going to be to select who's going to use this login. This can be set up three different ways, depending on the way that your logins are set up. The first is to choose one username and move that user over. If this is the case, that single user has access to this login and can come over to Site Manager with no admin password and edit it themselves. That's why it's important to pay special attention to this checkbox over here. This is going to stop them if you would like them to not be able to make those changes on their own. For the other two login types, you must be an admin to either create or edit them. The first is to take more than one username and move it to the Selected Users box. This is called a group login and creates a static list where only those users will have access to the login unless you manually come in here and change that yourself. The final way is to take all users and drag all users over to the Selected Users column. This is going to give all users access regardless of whether they've been added to the system now or later. Each time that you make a selection from the Available Users column, you'll need to click these two arrows to move the user over to the right. If you've made a mistake and you need to move one back over to the left, use the arrows below. Now that we've selected the carrier and we know who is going to be using the logins, it's time to add those credentials. Let's start with the custom name. This is great if you have group logins and need to keep track of which login belongs to who. Otherwise, you can move on to adding your username and your password. Pay attention to the peek button. That way you can make sure you're saving the right thing in the password fields. And we've already discussed this checkbox right here, but to reiterate, you will only use this in the case where you have one user in the selected users list and you want to restrict that user from making changes themselves. In that case, the admin would need to click this button below in order to enable the ability for them to save. If you're done with all of that, the last place that you need to pay attention to is going to be down below. In this case, we're only asking for the state, but this tends to change. We'll change the name to match whatever the carrier requires. That way, if you need to, you can go ahead and call the carrier and use the exact naming convention that we have listed right here. Now that we've entered all of our credentials, we can go ahead and save, and then use the test button. When you click test, you'll see the site info box pop up on your screen, and it'll look a little like this. Make sure that if the site info box is blue, that you're not moving your mouse or typing on your keyboard, even if you have multiple monitors, as this will interrupt the process that we are doing in front of you on the screen. Now that the carrier logins have been saved and verified, we can go ahead and click exit, and that'll take us back to the main Site Manager page, where you can review any of the carriers that you've previously added. If you want, you can click one of these and click the Edit button later, in case you need to make a change, or delete the login altogether. And that concludes our Site Manager tutorial. Thank you for being the best part of QuoteRUSH, and feel free to contact support should you need any help. Best of luck and happy quoting!